Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Hold on. Let me grab a pen over here. Here we go. There we go. I get the Bics, Chemda, by a pack of 30.
Oh.
Yeah. What's better than pen and paper? My dad was a big fan of the pen, of the fountain pen, right? We were a family of 7. We had powdered milk and plastic bread bags lining our $5 winter boots, but a $350 fountain pen.
Is that how much they cost?
Was going to be the secret to his publishing success.
So now is this some trauma coming up every time you hear the clicking of a pen?
No, because I know Be Normal by Bic.
Wow.
Not Mont Blanc. When you look around and your family's half eating. And my mom, I picture yelling at him like, you got to get work somehow. Don't worry, I'll have my pen soon. I paid $40 for rush delivery. It'll only take 4 more days.
Did you just have a breakthrough in therapy?
I think it's coming to me now. I'll have my pen and I'll write my books. And he'll say to my mom, get us mansions that will rival heaven.
Rival? Is that allowed? That's not Christian.
It's cute. It's a cute saying. But I'm sorry, your literary plans, my wife, that you just found out about will be pushed back 4 more days. I'm so sorry. Can you just get a fucking job? I think my dad didn't have friends because he knew my mom would have a right to fuck him. I really think. I'm starting to think that.
A right to like get rid of him?
Have intercourse with the friends on the side.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Because your mother would see what else is out there.
Yes, you're starting to get it. Let me introduce to you today's guest. It's the great Myq Kaplan. Hello, Myq.
Hey, big Bic pen fan. So
Right?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, Bic pens, the pen of the functional family.
He loved his little calendar book that he would just spend time making the diary perfect, putting quotes on the side that are supposed to get him riled up to be a salesman of insurance, and a little, color-coded things, but nothing ever had a meaning in it. But it was really just so. And every 6 months, a new pen was going to change everything. And yeah, they were hundreds.
This sounds like the first 3 days of a lot of people's year.
Maybe, right?
This year's the year. We're starting over. I bought all the production tools. I got apps galore. I got this new device. It's on.
This pen is going to be my pen.
Right.
Big goals, big goals.
And it would be something because he didn't know how to communicate with us. So let's say it's, a graduation gift or something like that. You got a $50 pen. I'm like, okay, thanks. And I'm not shitting on it because it's only $50. I'm saying, who cares?
I think you're saying, give me $50.
I'm saying, give me $50. Can I sell it back to you for 40? Your mom wants the money. Your wife, I mean. No, / your mom. I think that's why I keep saying that by accident.
Didn't he call your mother mom? Like they
Yes,
called each other dad and mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that throws me too. By the way, silent trailers. It's tonight. And I will be destroying Rod, Morrow, Liz, Mealy, Jessica Watkins, and my good dearest friend, Myq Kaplan. And I'm sorry I have to do that. Yeah.
I understand.
They check out the promo video on YouTube right now, but they're all telling me to fuck off, and Myq couldn't even get himself to do it. Fuck off, Keith? Are you afraid that's going to be out there? Like, oh, I knew he was an asshole.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm afraid of it. I'm just aware that anything that I say that you have on video can be used in any way. I mean, for me, against you, but I don't know.
Right. How can he be using this against me? But it's better safe than sorry. I'll smile when I do it. Big news. Maury Povich's show is ending after more than 30 years.
That was still
They
on?
found all the fathers.
Right. Oh, man. I remember I didn't want to have my dad and mom as parents. I wanted Kurt Russell and Lisa Gibbons to be my parents. But, the adoption thing didn't work out. But I used to see Maury Povich, and you can't help it, at least I can't help but think the fucking trauma you're doing to these kids, assuming these stories are real, is fucking insane. You are not the father. Yeah, bitch. Fuck yeah.
I wonder what Maury's relationship with his father and
Right.
children was like.
He refuses to find out. He won't take a DNA test. He's like, it never ends up good.
The final episode.
Right. That's what happens when you only do it in the ass, Maury. Woo woo! Running around, and the kid has to see that. Or even you are the father. Fuck! All right, I'll get therapy and work it out. God damn it! I was so sure. And then no matter what happens, and thank you for being on the show. Please enjoy New York. Your hotel's good for one more night. Have fun. Here's some free tickets. All right, 30 years. Good for you, Maury. You must be. You went to be a newscaster like your wife, and here we are. And good for you. It's a long time.
He was giving people news.
Yeah, life-changing news.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he still will. You know, like you hear sometimes when people retire, they find themselves like wanting to do helping out in a similar field to what they used to, because like they don't just want to sit home alone. So he's going to be walking down the street being like, "Do you know who your father is? Like, let's look into it."
He's right. He's going to get the way Tom Brady came back. He's like, "Hey," he's in the diner. "Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Are you curious if?" Because the eyes are a little different.
Who is Tom Brady's father?
Here's a beautiful Keith and the Girl anniversary letter. Real short. Okay, Keith and Chemda. It's Brian Alt here saying hello. A huge congrats on the podcast being of the age of consent in New York. Look at this perv. He's been counting the years. I started listening somewhere in the mid 300s. You can thank or blame the Carinos for that.
Ooh.
Especially Margie.
Oh.
I encourage you to have a lifetime level of VIP. And I was encouraged, I think he means, to have a lifetime level of VIP. And I was probably one of your first. I feel privileged to be able to support you for so long and look forward to doing so well into the future. Long live Keith and the Girl. L'chaim. Brian. Thank you, Brian.
Wow. We've been hearing that name for years and years and years. If you're going back and listening, you will hear Brian Alt's name. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah. And I think I misread. I think what he's saying is I encourage you to have a level of VIP. Then you made the level. Then I took it. And we have to be told everything. We had to be told about t-shirts. We had to be told about a /donate we have. KeithandGirl.com/donate. We had to be told to do that. You know, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I think Brian, I was a perfect gift, not a $50 pen, a lifetime subscription to Keith and the Girl. That's what you get your kids when you don't know them at all.
Yes, you're not wrong, of course. Now, Chemda gave us a big tease the other day. We're saying goodbye, and then the final 2 seconds, it's almost like the music's fading out, and she goes, "All right, talk to you tomorrow. I pooped my pants this weekend. Bye." Now, just to be clear, if you're new to Keith and the Girl, a lot's coming at you fast. Chemda is an adult, not an actual girl. More a woman, much more a woman. What happened?
Oh, man. I went to Long Island this weekend. Mistake number one. Okay.
Say no more.
Right?
Or say more. Yeah.
Who doesn't shit their pants in Long Island?
So you're visiting what? Your brother?
Mm-hmm. So
when in Rome, shit in your pants on Long Island. Yeah.
You just look around. Okay.
Now they do have kids, you know, one is turning 5 soon and the other one's 2. And so
hold on. I'm sorry. 1 second. Okay. I don't know this story, Mike. Take a guess. Let's take a guess. I really don't know. Now, is she trying to show the kid how to shit with her face and it happened? What's your guess?
The kid, the 2-year-old, shits their pants, and then Chemda is either jealous or wants to show them that it's okay. Like the scene in that Adam Sandler movie where the kid wets his pants and then Adam Sandler wets his pants and tells everyone how cool it is to wet your pants, and then everyone else wets their pants. But next level with shit.
Right. If shit in your pants is cool, I'm Sid Vicious.
Well, I just figure, like, you know, if you're ever pooping around kids that age, you can always blame the smell on them. But it was in the middle of the night. So it's 3:30.
The witching hour. Well, 3:30. Start with
shitting
that.
Hour. It's 3:30 a.m. And And I'm like, God damn it, it's 3:30 a.m. I gotta go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And you're like debating somehow with yourself, like, can I make it until I like really wake up? And it's like, no, I gotta go. And so
that's my time, by the way. I don't know about you, Myq, but I'm at that age where, you got to piss and you're like, I'm halfway through the night. Little bookmark.
Yeah.
That's not where I am. It's not that. I don't know why, but I get it. Myq, you have that?
No, it depends when I drink like my last amount of water, because I drink a lot of water, but my aim is to finish drinking it long before bedtime. But before I knew that, sometimes like when I started really drinking a lot of water, I was waking up like 7 times in the night and being like, I don't know what's happening to me. Like I'm supposed to be healthier with all this water I'm drinking right before bed. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think what you're saying to Keith is yes, it does happen to him, because I don't think a 25-year-old is going, I have to stop drinking water at this time. They're thinking I have to stop drinking liquor and then quicker and then whatever. So it's different kind of math.
Sicker. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's 3:30 in the morning. I tried to debate myself. I lost, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll get up. Now, as soon as I get vertical, I'm like, oh my God, my ass muscles are not working.
Oh, wow.
Because it's as if like it just waited until I got vertical, and I'm like, oh my God, it's
my body thinks I'm up.
Yeah, I'm like, it's leaving my butt. No, this is real. This is real. Yeah, it's just coming in. I'm like, why are my ass muscles not working? Where you can at least like walk funny to the bathroom, and the bathroom is all the way fucking across the hall. And now I already have shit in my pants. And I'm like, okay.
Holy shit.
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah. So now I'm waddling over to the bathroom.
Right.
And luckily, and they don't say this much about this thing, but luckily I had my period, which means I'm wearing a diaper.
Wow.
Well,
they don't tell you too much about which part is this thing.
What? It's never luckily I got my period, but luckily I had my period, so I was wearing a pad.
Okay.
And the pad held on to everything. It was perfect.
I mean, good, but ew.
Exactly. Now I'm sitting there. My brother has a bidet that's like attached to the toilet, so you don't have to get up. And you can just
fucking call the fire department.
I'm thinking, oh, this is the chance to use it. I'm like, no, I think this is a shower situation. Let me not like be lazy about this. I think we're going all in. Meanwhile, I'm like in the bathroom. I hear one of the little kids come out, and I hear them right outside the door, because on the right next door to this is his parents' room, my brother and Maricela. So I hear him right outside the door, and he's like, I don't feel good. And I'm like, fuck. If he has to pee right now, this is his bathroom, but I think he has like a little potty in the room, but he doesn't feel good and he can't open the door to not feel good. Then I hear him throw up right outside the door.
Oh, no.
He knew by the way, good training from the parents.
Kid,
you knew to throw up in the toilet on your own.
No, outside the door. But
I follow.
Yeah.
He was trying to get in, but you stopped him.
I did. I probably did. And so, but then I'm thinking, unfortunately, this is good news for me, because think about the logistics of this. Where do you put the poop and the underwear that is now soiled? That doesn't.
I know. You put it on your enemy's front porch, flaming, and ring the bell and run away.
Well, you can't put it in a regular garbage because it's going to smell, and you can't clean it enough to like not make it go away. But now the kids are up, so I can go into their room and put it in the diaper genie, which is where all my stuff went. Oh,
it's not magic. It's probably like steam or something, right?
It's just a garbage that closes up enough so that the diapers in there don't smell up the whole thing every time you open the lid. So that's what happened.
Okay, that's funny. You think it's the end of it. Welcome to Keith and the Girls. So, I've said this for years now, and I'll say it again. Everybody's pretends to be nervous about free healthcare in America, or the people that are pretend to be nervous about it because it's going to be overrun. It's not going to be overrun because I know, not to brag, quite a few people with insurance, and they don't go to the hospital. Are you nervous why your asshole is broke?
Oh, yeah. You're going to the ass doctor?
Yeah, there is one. He's being
No,
funny, but there are ones.
I have been to not the ass doctor, but I have checked literally my poop, and it's fine.
Okay.
But I think I understand why this happened. My stomach is very, very, very sensitive now, and
Since what?
It's never been like not sensitive, but since the operation, since the tumor, it's been even more sensitive, and now it's on a level where I have to think about things a lot more than I clearly want to. And maybe the night before, Domino's with jalapenos on it while having my period is not the best idea.
Or your period is the best time to do that, because then you've got this
right.
beautiful hammock to catch everything in. Which, by the way, I do think there are some times when people are like, thank goodness I got my period. If they had unprotected sex a week or two earlier, like, thank goodness a baby's not coming. Be like, oh, thank goodness a shit is coming.
You know what? That is me every month. So maybe I lied. Yeah. Thank you. I forgot.
But double bonus reason to be grateful that it was your period this time.
I don't have to have a baby and I could poop my pants.
Yeah.
Do you call it a disease, a disorder? What do you have since what do they call it since the tumor?
I think they just cut out a little more. Like, it wasn't such a clean cut of the tumor. They had to take some other stuff. So my diaphragm is
like
frozen.
your asshole.
I mean, I think whatever happened affected my digestive system in general.
Oh.
So I have to be very sensitive. And I don't know exactly what it is, but
you had your butt removed.
I did. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I was hoping that it would make me never poop again, but it backfired.
No joke. Ever since then, do you do ass kegels? Like just to see, like, do I have control? Like, do it right now.
My whole life is burps and ass kegels. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Not ass giggles, ass kegels.
Yeah, shits and kegels. Yeah.
This was beyond my control. I have never felt no muscle action. Like, that's not because I'm like off on my workouts, Keith. It's you've said on this show how you're not that person into butt stuff, but why not now, right? You're not going to feel it. No, it was a momentary thing.
Well,
No. It's not like I've shot my pants since, and I have no control, and I live a diaper life now.
It's Wednesday, Chemda. What do you mean since?
So far, so good. Okay. My goodness.
All right.
I like that you said it backfired. That was pretty fun.
Thank you. I slide them in.
Well, I do, of course, want to talk about the beautiful lunch that Myq Kaplan and I had. Rod happened to be there. Okay.
Perfect timing after my butt thing.
So I mentioned how, I met Myq outside where I thought I was meeting only Rod. Tell me if I'm wrong, Myq, that as we're talking, are you thinking I'm being kind of weird? Because the way I picture it is, hey, Myq, why are you here? And Myq laughs. And I'm like, no, but you're killing time for something. What is it? And Myq laughs again. Like, do you think like, wow, I guess this is Keith's way of being funny, because he really keeps pushing being a fucking weird. Because to be clear, Myq knew I was coming. I didn't know Myq would be there. This was all Rod's idea.
And I didn't know that you didn't know. So from my perspective, I thought you were just being your regular funny self by coming up to me and saying, what are you doing here? Knowing full well what I'm doing there, because I knew full well what you were doing there. But I now understand that you truly didn't know. And we're trying to be honest and not funny.
It does seem like a bit that Keith would do. Like, when we had a studio, he used to wait until the guest came through the door to pick up his pill from the floor and go, oh, what's this? And take it in front of the person as if he's just picking up a thing from the floor. So it would be like you, Keith, to see someone that you're supposed to be seeing and go, what are you doing here? Funny seeing you here. What a coincidence. Because you can't have a sincere moment.
You're the boy who cried, what are you doing here?
Right. But to me, it's the third time I said, seriously, Myq, what are you waiting for? Where I picture Myq going, Keith, we get your fucking joke.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact chronology of how many times you said everything, but at a certain point, you did, I think, say, are you meeting Rod here? Right. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like you are. Like I know. Like we all know. We've all known the whole time, right? This joke is long.
I just want to shout out to Rod Morrow, who I bet did not know that asking Keith to lunch would be a running bit for 2 weeks later.
It's on him. Is it a little strange that he didn't tell me you were coming, Mike? Yes.
I mean, here maybe the fact that he invited you to a vegan restaurant should have implied that I would be there.
Somehow later.
Blaming the victim. Right. You should know every vegan
Keith,
restaurant. I'm there.
I've never known Rod to do anything untoward or unkind or foolish. So I think whatever Rod did was the right thing.
Well, it worked out because you know what? I said this, and I don't know if hearing it sounds offensive. Of course, I knew Myq for years. Obviously, he's been on Keith and the Girl in person so many times. And obviously, before and after we talk, and it's human, and I'm taking it in, and I'm there sincerely and completely. But to me, this lunch, I knew I felt it was different, and it made me realize you're a good friend. And I didn't before. I'm like being on the show. It's a little fake. Even this is a little different than I would normally talk. Quite frankly, I don't know. It felt a little different to me. Did it feel to you, or is it just like, what weirdo? No, it's just another time I saw you.
Wow. Well, I have two answers for you. One real and one fake for the show.
Okay.
Because the show is a lot of fake stuff. But thank you for finally admitting it, that you're playing a character, that you don't mean what you say, that nothing is true and nothing is real. Chemda didn't shit her pants. Nothing. It's all an act.
It's just a good story.
For comedy.
This is perfect timing because I have a hot topic later. So good. I'm glad you said that.
I mean, I will say for sure, like as a comedian and as podcasters, like you have lots of interactions with people in friendly capacities that are also intertwined with work. But when, that was the first time we'd never had a meal together that was like just an official friendship meal. So I will agree with you. I also felt that it was different because we weren't recording a podcast or in a charged situation.
Right.
That is the truth, but for the show, so edit that out.
Sure.
The answer, what? Keith, I think I already did this, but yeah, I'm always being genuine. This is how I am on camera, off camera, on podcast, off podcast, and people think that I'm a little weird, but this is regular.
Well, there could also be pauses in real life, Now, Mike's done talking, my turn to talk. It's my job.
That's true. The only thing that's different about my regular life from being on a podcast is the pauses.
But they speak volumes.
Maybe this is the effect of the pandemic. Like Keith didn't understand that he actually enjoys other people's company and is now recognizing it.
Maybe.
It was a nice lunch.
And he liked him this whole time.
We talked about movies, and that's it. But it was good.
I was early, and I know I get lost so easily. So I scoped out the restaurant. And I was walking the side streets until it was time. Yeah, and then I'm like, Mike's here. I was peeking and everything.
I just arrived, I think, on time. So I can't verify.
I think somebody gave me a time and I followed it.
Yeah, I didn't show up early to be extra prepared.
I can't believe that Keith having lunch with two different people in his life is a saga in Keith and the Girl history now.
It doesn't.
Lunch from now. It's like a ride in Coney Island now. Lunch with Keith.
It's come on, Mike. Admit it is exciting to you.
I mean, it was exciting,
It didn't give me. I'm making it sound like it gave me anxiety. It didn't give me anxiety. Some time ago, I was good with that, realizing that if you're nervous, then everybody's nervous. So they're not even thinking about you; they're thinking about what they do. And then I was fine. Now I picture my dad hearing me say that and being like, "Exactly. They're all nervous. Take advantage." No, Dad, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, recognize that everybody's like, am I being okay here? Was I too early? This kind of thing. And then life's easy. That's my secret to success.
In all fairness, it did sound a little like, with you bringing this up, and I don't mean to be like, Keith, we get it already, but
sure.
You are bringing it up over and over again. It does sound a smidge like social anxiety. Like, you don't have to have panic attacks. It's this calculation of, am I going to like everybody I'm going to be with? Are there going to be any surprises that I won't like or enjoy?
For a second, because, now I never met Rod in person. To me, it's me and Mike's first sit down. So for a second, and then I'm like, nah, then that means they're thinking it. Even if they're not, I'm telling myself, then they're thinking it and we're going to be fine.
Oh, yeah. It was 2 new things. Sometimes
that's a lot.
One new thing is a bit. A lot of people don't do any new things ever, but one new thing is big, and 2 new things. That's almost double.
And a vegan restaurant.
Oh yeah,
that's 3 new things.
Right.
It's true.
And then I called my therapist and bragged. Better help. Here's what you do. Yeah, you got a therapist? Then get one. BetterHelp. I use it. Chemda uses it. We both love it. That's the truth. You want to go to betterhelp.com/KATG. Relationships take work, for example. A lot of us will drop anything to go help somebody we care about. We'll go out of our way to treat other people well. But how often do we give ourselves the same treatment? Why do you talk to yourself a certain way? For example, you wouldn't say that to a 13-year-old. Think, people. Think. Sorry if I went too advanced on you too fast. I go to BetterHelp. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, even live chat sessions with your therapist. You don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. I do, though. I mean, come on, you might as well. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try. Over 2 million people use it.
Listen, if you think you don't need it, this is a way to prove it.
Prove it.
Yeah, go over there. They'll be like, "Oh my God, you are the most healed, well-rounded." Yeah. I don't even know.
You heal me. Yeah.
Are you here to like give me an example of what being okay is? Go get your reward.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Keith and the Girl listeners get 10% off your first month. This podcast is sponsored by BETTER. Okay. BETTERHELP.com/KATG. This is the answer, right? It's got to be frustrating. Like when God tried to give us the 10 commandments, like, this is the fucking answer. BetterHelp.com/KATG. It's right here.
Just like the rabbi would say.
Oh my God.
Keith, that was a good Moses impression.
Thank you. I saw 10 commandments.
Do you think that they have like a speech therapy better health option as well? Because it seemed like you weren't able to pronounce the word health as every time that it came up.
Oh.
Better help. Okay, he was saying better. So it was hard for me to hear the ending of that.
Well, right now, my therapist is having me figure out, when did I start having my speech impediment? That's nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that. They just talk about the bullies. Yeah. So thank you, BetterHelp. Very good.
BetterHelp.
All right. Here's the hot soup controversial take of the day. And you guys tell me what you think. I got 2 very empathetic people here. And this topic.
When Keith says that, I don't take it as a compliment.
I
got these 2 fazools. You know what I mean? That's what it sounds like. But okay.
These let's 2 see. Nice fools here.
I had like 4 separate people that are close to me go, Keith, are you going to talk about this on Keith and the Girl? I'm surprised you haven't.
Huh.
And
is it shitting your pants?
It is Chemda shat her pants on the weekend. It's in the LA Times, they call it. LA Times. You hear you're excited anytime. Oh, it's the first what are we up to? 4 black actors winning the Oscars, this kind of thing. The first person that ever did this. And you're like, well, this didn't happen by now. Well, we just had the first transgender athlete to win a US college swimming championship. And my friends are liberal. We have the same politics. I know they're good people, but they're almost whispering to me like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? Because I know I'm a good person. I know you're a good person, but you also have common sense. Can you just tell me it's a little unfair? That's the way I'm hearing it. And I understand that. And I understand where the hang up is to go. I do find it a little unfair that you were born in what we would say is a man's body. Then you're a woman that can be in women's sports, and surprise, surprise, this person dominated. Went in the 500 meters, went from number 462. I'm talking about NCAA women's swimming. Went from 462 in the men's, number one in the women. 200 freestyle, number 500 something in the men's, number one in the women's. What were you saying, Chemda?
It's it's helpful to use the word male. So male is to your sex, which is your outside.
Okay.
And the gender is male. So it's like male sex and male gender is different. This is so controversial, and I don't know the response too well about it, but I think like this is for me, for somebody else to figure out. But yes, a male body is stronger, more athletic. Like even when a male body is smaller than me, they're still stronger than me, usually naturally. And so to transition later in life, I don't know what that does. I don't know if the new hormones that you take completely level you off at the same hormone level as somebody who was born female bodied.
It doesn't.
Can I share something?
Female sex. Sorry, not body. Female sex. Yes.
So I have a friend, Petey Gibson, who is a trans man, who shared this on Facebook. I don't have to read the whole thing. It's but a person named Kelsey Vaughn said this is a former swimmer's thoughts on Lia. Part of it says like, but her wingspan and height, the biological advantages. Michael Phelps has a longer than average wingspan, a larger web in his feet and hands, hyperextended joints, and produced less lactic acid than other athletes. No one complained about his advantages, and he more or less dominated the sport. Some women are tall also, but if it's a tall woman, a assigned female at birth athlete, no one yells that they should compete with the males. Or if you go after one athlete's body, you have to go for them all. If you only go after Lia or other trans athletes, you're transphobic. So furthermore, where do we draw the line with quote unquote natural advantages? And then they said, but she's assigned male at birth. And so they had to test her hormone levels before she swam. She had no more testosterone than that was what was outside a female limit. Her muscle mass began decreasing at 3 to 6 months. And then what about intersex people? There's a lot more, but I think, honestly, like that just competition is like capitalism, just offers so many problems. Like, who specifically cares who is the fastest person in the world or any gender? Like, you know, I understand that there are people who do care and there's money involved and people have feelings and it's very, I guess it's reasonable, but it feels like a lot of these questions are like being asked only now because about this person. Like, who cared? Where were all these people caring about swimming in the past?
I do. Mm-hmm. I think it's clear that I do find it unfair. But in the past, it was your MAGA. It was your, like, I don't want to be sitting here agreeing with the fucking governor of Florida who's also into the Don't Say Gay bill. That's where the people bringing it up are just haters, and it didn't seem like it can happen. But it does happen once in a blue moon. The male body becomes a female, or you know what I'm saying, and then dominates the UFC. It happens once in a blue fucking moon, but it's interesting. It's never the opposite. There will not be a transgender man in the NFL, is my guess. You would be dominated.
Well, I guess it depends, right? Because like Mike was saying, you could be born female sex, but you're taller, bigger. And so if that's the person that's transitioning, they're starting at a taller, bigger space. But I think it has to do now with like, now that we know a little bit more, like in the general public, how are we measuring athletes? So I don't know that we qualify to measure. None of us are athletes. None of us are, majors in biology, doctors, like we don't know. So we're asking people like, how do you qualify? Like for wrestling, they qualify by weight. So does that make things even, just because like you are throwing your weight around? So in every specific sport, how are you measuring people's bodies in order to make it fair? I don't know. But what about the point that Michael Phelps is taller and has more wingspan?
If he was a transgender woman, you think he would dominate? Yeah, because he's the best in the fucking world. this person was number 500 in one swimming meter and 400 something another swimming meter. Now number one in almost everything.
Yeah, but I feel like this is just like us speculating about the what do you call it? The virus, the shot. Like
the vaccine, yeah.
Yeah, the vaccine. Like we know what would measure well and how much to use or what.
But we know it's working.
What.
But we're idiots, but we know it's working. We know masks work. What are
the experts saying? What are the people in this genre, in this field actually saying? Because
the U.S. swimming policy was to undergo 3 years of hormone replacement therapy. For whatever reason, the NCAA decided 2.5. 2.5 was fine.
Because they tested her hormone levels, and she did take 2 years off of school to make sure she could participate in the sport.
But you still have.
So then we're talking about a person who qualifies.
You still have these muscles. You still have these tendons. You still have them.
So then we're talking about, should she have even qualified? Not that she won. So
sure.
Yeah, the NCAA let her compete.
All right.
Like they didn't let her compete on the disclaiming like you can only compete if you don't win. There's an old Doug Stanhope joke where he talks about Michael Phelps and the way that his physical form was, almost, it seemed like, made for swimming championships. And I think Stanhope's joke is like it's like if you had essentially. Because everybody has different bodies, different people have different advantages. The punchline is like it's like having an Olympic event called the tallest. Like it's the rules are of the sports are man-made or human-made. They are potentially not necessarily arbitrary, but there's some arbitrary nature to it. Like you can have this high, like for weight classes or whatever, when people are wrestling and they're like, oh, you only wrestle people of your weight class. So you starve yourself, you don't have water, whatever it is, so that you can get weighed and be like, and now you're in this weight class. Or even, on the other end of things, like, oh, people are taking steroids, so everyone's going to take steroids. And so then it's either fair if nobody's doing it or fair if everybody's doing it. Like the ultimate thing is like, it's not fair. Everyone's bodies are different.
Sure, and because if it was fair, everybody would have the same coach, the same funding, the same time. Things are not fair.
I think what bothers me about it is if it was any other situation and I see this person keeps being number one, I'd go, hey, what's your secret? But obviously you can't ask that.
I think you can.
I don't know. I think I got a good therapist recently. Okay.
Well,
I'm old school.
But you're not really asking then.
There's
no, because I wouldn't ask because I know what the fucking secret is.
Well, Keith, do you know how long transgender people have been competing in the NCAA? I'm reading from the thing I was reading earlier. It says she's the first transgender athlete to win a Division I NCAA title. If men are the threat to sports, why has it taken this long for someone trans to win? It's not like being a trans woman makes you automatically better than everybody.
Because this is brand new, though. That's the thing.
It's not brand new. It's been going on for years.
All right, I missed it.
Trans people have been competing for more than just this moment.
Really? For years?
Yes, years, for sure.
All right, then we found a good one. Because they've been sucking, it seems.
Well, that's the most of note, no? If they're only pointing out this, and there are a lot of others, then that's definitely of note.
They should rate those in those articles, but
they should. But then why would you read it and have a sensational time?
Right.
Yeah, then you're just reading facts. Since when is anyone interested in who won that meet?
It's it is funny. I've seen some posts that these friends I'm talking about have gotten, and these people, they're on the side of good. My friends are on the side of good, and it's funny how much the good attacks the good. This isn't anything new necessarily, but It's like, really, this is hey, I've known you for years, but here you're transphobic, and here's 10 links, and I clicked on them that are so fucking boring and dense, and you could tell they didn't even read them themselves, and it's not even doesn't really apply to this situation. One link is about the number of deaths of transgender people being bullied and killed. And it's like, yeah, I know. We're just talking about, is this thing something? And you're making me nervous to fucking talk about it.
I think you're right, but I think it's in a way like checking each other. Like you want to check yourself. Like just because we're on the same side, it doesn't mean we're good. Hey, this is not like just because we're on the same side, we don't like know it all.
But know me a little bit that don't start with, are you transphobic? Like, is that a question I'm supposed to answer? No. Can we discuss this further? Oh, well.
I got something from Wikipedia. In August 2011, the NCAA Office of Inclusion published the NCAA Inclusion of Transgender Student Athletes resource outlining their best practices and policies. So for at least 11 years, there have been policies in place. So I can only imagine that there were reasons for that for these past 11 years.
Okay. All right. So so the lesson is sometimes a transgender athlete is going to bust through. Yeah. Just be like, what interesting. Even though coincidentally, they were among one of the worst before.
Do you think that ever happens?
There is something to the being number 500 and then being number 1.
But if you took anyone that she worked with, they would also score that much against the men.
Sorry? Also, go ahead.
What was that, Chemda?
Aren't they on the same level? Like if I'm competing with this woman and then I go to compete with who she used to compete with, I would come in that same 405th, 500th place. Because now
I'd assume
because now she's dealing with people on par with what her level is. Then that's proving, I think, the other thing that you're thinking, the different thing that you're thinking.
Well, I liked it nonetheless. Gotcha. So my brain twisted it around, and I agree. Yeah, if she swam with men, how would she do?
If I swam with men, how would I do?
I don't think. Oh, I see. But I think if this woman did swim with men, and I assume because of what is it, estrogen? What is it? Sorry, what's the thing they got to do? No, what is it? Estrogen? What's the thing they got to do, Mike? You were just talking about it.
Estrogen is the female hormone.
All right, they got to do something, right? For 2.5 years. What do we got over here? Hormone. I was looking for hormone replacement.
Sure.
So I assume that would lower your ability to swim with men, right? Because that's a point we grab onto to say how it's fair when you swim with women.
Yeah, that there was some hormone level that was necessary to like fall between, and that she did. Yeah,
I say, and in the end of it, right? I'm not a sports guy, only for football. What do I? Who cares? But, I can't help but think if I had a kid, I guess that was into swimming, I'd care. But you're right. I don't give a fuck. Throw a dolphin in there. Have it swimming and boat racing at the same time. No, in the end, I don't care. But it's funny that I see people being scared to talk about it because then we're going to be equated with, these fucking truck rallies.
Because you also want to get something right that you're not an expert of. You don't want to misspeak because of your ignorance, but you want to, but you don't want to shy away from an opinion. Because
you don't want to feel insane. It's not even, to me, it's not even so much like I have to get my opinion out, but I just tell me I'm not fucking insane and it's interesting.
But then there's more beyond that.
I could do research, but how about we have a forum, so it's easy to reach us. Send us the 2 paragraphs that I'm missing that are going to blow my mind. Don't send dense links that you're obviously not reading anyway and ask if I'm a transphobe.
I think that it is less useful to like point to any one person when there's like, systemic, like there's systemic racism and systemic, sexism in our culture. Like there's systemic transphobia. We've all been swimming in transphobic waters, I made a swimming joke, and we're talking about a trans swimmer. And
my shirt was on all levels. Sure, the fact and sure the joke.
Thank you so much. But yeah, it makes sense that I think we're all doing our best to learn the things that we don't know, to admit the things that we don't know, and to try and do better and hopefully amplify the voices of people who do know what the fuck they're talking about. None of whom are on this podcast. Yeah.
But we're also learning out loud. So if you hear people's process and learning, they sound dopey until it clicks. So I don't know, if we sound dopey, then yeah, maybe I'm dopey in this field. I am not an expert, but it's happening. So it's not an excuse to not be an expert. We don't have to be an expert in this, but I still don't have the full thought process. I don't know what happens in sports. So how am I going to have an opinion on this? That's so strong.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I just Googled how many transgender swimmers are in the world of all kinds, all levels. 3. So
you don't type that quick. You do not type that quick.
I said trans athletes. That it's not just in swimming that people imagine that trans people will have an advantage if they were born one gender.
Oh, I see. 8. The answer is 8.
Okay. This is how you win silent trailer. So don't let him throw weird shit at you. You focus on what you're focusing on.
I get. It's a slippery slope kind of thing that people have in their heads. One thing leads to another. Again, I don't want to come out like I'm agreeing with this fucking governor of Florida, for Christ's sake. I'm sitting there reading a story about North Carolina dog owner tried to dump his pooch off at an animal shelter because he feared the pup was gay. The pet owner complained to shelter workers that the dog was caught humping another male canine, so he didn't want him anymore. So I get the line.
The canine?
Right. I got a fish. It's still gay.
Why is my dog looking at me like that? Are you gay?
Right.
My dog really likes when I come home. That's gay.
All right. Let's go over what we learned today. All right. My dad loves his pens, didn't love us. Okay. Could you imagine hey, I don't know you at all. Here's an old watch of mine. Thanks, Dad. That's good. You're real fucking high class. Maury Povich.
To learn. Oh, right. Sorry about that.
That's all right. You didn't know I was just going to yell Maury Povich out of nowhere.
I didn't.
How would you know that?
Yeah. Just saw your mouth opening, getting ready, but I didn't know you were going to say anything.
Maury Povich show ending in more than 30 years. So I don't know. I guess you'll have to pay money and not be embarrassed to find out if somebody's really your child or not. That's fine.
Lifetime VIP membership brought to you by Brian Alt. Thank you, Brian Alt.
Thank you very much. It was a great idea, and we took it, and thank you. Silent Traders, of course. I'll kick ass. Chemda pooped her pants. Is she nervous? No, that's life. Yeah, I think that's everything. All right.
So that's Keith number 1, Chemda number 2.
Let's see over here. My dad's a little trickster. And the transgender issue regarding sports. What conclusion did we come to, Mike? What conclusion did we come to?
Keith is going to do his homework, but you just have to summarize it for him, put it on the forum. It's as concise as possible.
It's funny you say that, but let me tell you something about these fucking superheroes. They really do just send links that they obviously didn't look at or double check.
Can I propose this then?
Sure.
You just heard this show, not you, Keith, listener.
Okay.
You just heard this show. I believe that there was bullet points that could come out. I believe there was a paragraph that Mike read that summarized it. I believe there was a couple of points that, maybe negated the initial thought. If you heard those points, can you, just put them out? We don't need a spreadsheet, but can you just maybe bullet point them for Keith, for me, for everybody? Did you learn anything? Do you think we learned anything?
Yeah. When I talked to my therapist, BetterHelp, when I talk to my therapist, the rule is at the end, if something didn't happen yet, we gotta find another problem, because I want a little saying. I want something pithy to take with me. Takes time, make time, that kind of thing. and then I feel better. So what did you hear, listener, in your living where you're like, what a great fucking point this is? I'd like to hear that one because, it can't be a whole fucking 10 links. It's something that said, hey, I get this. Let me know what I'm missing in that regard.
Hey, fucking teacher, can you summarize the shit or do I gotta stay here all semester?
You could do it like school.
Summer school?
You could give me 10 fucking dense links, but you didn't like school either.
And that's not where a comma goes. Who taught you fucking English?
We'll talk about it at our next lunch, Keith.
Thank you. I'm trying to think of a name, like maybe this person will surprise us, but I don't hang out with anybody. This could be it.
Maybe Rod's wife, Karen, will be there.
Myq, thank you so much for spending your time with us.
Thank you.
I can vouch for this. You are a great person. That was fun to learn. And obviously hilarious. I did not learn that. I knew that.
Well, he never knew before the lunch that this is actually real. He just thought, he thought, I'm fake. Maybe this guy's fake. So he seems like he'd be good, but actually might not. But at lunch actually turned out to be good like me.
Yeah, don't say I don't do my research. I can tell you, Myq is a friend and I like him very much.
I gave him some bullet points at lunch. Nice.
If you catch this in time, Silent Trailers is tonight. KeithAndTheGirl.com/tickets. Are you a VIP member? Come in for free. KeithAndTheGirl.com/VIP. Both links will make sense to you. All right. Myq, what should people know? Tell them what's doing. Tell them what's happening. Come on. Don't be shy about it. What is the call to action, so to speak?
Perfect language to describe something that will really help you, everyone, listeners in the world. Myq Kaplan, spelled the weird way I spell it, MYQ-KAPLAN. That's, put that in anywhere. You can listen to my albums. You can find my podcasts. You can go to myqkaplan.substack.com. You'll get free jokes every week and more if you pay. And I've got a Patreon. I've got social media. Just put Myq Kaplan in anywhere. And you'll find me. You're here right now. You did it.
There you go. Thank you, guys. See you soon. Real soon.